Okay, we're on to part 2 in here. So now, what is your favorite episode? I can't really actually pinpoint a certain episode, but I would say I actually kind of put this on there earlier on the list, but like it was part like when Gohan came back to Earth and said that quote to Super Buu and that fight started. I think that was my favorite episode because I was like so crazy, like to actually see Gohan and just do one more step up before like he just became kind of useless, like Krillin. Actually, Krillin was pretty important until the Cell Saga, pretty much, and he actually did a couple. Yeah, so yeah. So I can't really actually pinpoint the episode, but that was it because, and I explained that I'm a huge fan of Gohan, and that's really cool. Favorite Dragon Ball Z song, and this one's gonna be a fan favorite because like I'm not the guy who just likes. I think that a lot of people, a lot of other people don't like. But my favorite Dragon Ball song is definitely. This definitely has to be the Super Saiyan 3 Goku transformation because I like how like music was building up and it was so epic, and like I even kind of like when people was like, oh my god, you're turning into Super Saiyan 3, how is that even possible? And that was like an amazing moment, like, and obviously I'm actually not a huge fan of the Buu Saga, but I've been talking about it a lot just because of that one scene. I'm just, Gohan versus Super Buu. I love that, so that's all I have to say about that. Super Saiyan 3 transformation account, so. Favorite movie or special? Now, I haven't watched all the Dragon Ball Z movies yet. Yep, I've watched most of them. And out of all my favorites, it's I really like Resurrection of F because even though I like Cell better, Frieza was like definitely my second favorite villain, and it was really cool to actually see him come back. And so yeah, and it was actually canon too, and I think it was like really cool seeing Goku. But one thing I didn't like about it is I think Vegeta should have got the kill on Frieza, but I think the fight scenes are really good. Obviously, in Dragon and the Dragon Ball movies, the fight scenes are pretty good. But like in this actual film, the fight scenes like definitely updated animation, and the fight got really crazy. And it was a pretty decent. I mean, I still think there's a lot of the better fights in that. And the Dragon Ball Super equivalent was pretty decent too, but the animation for that was pretty bad. So, but yeah, I think Resurrection of F is my favorite, and it was really cool because like Frieza's ringtone and stuff and that, like Frieza's name when he came back to life. And the movie had really good build up, but and then there was like a couple downfalls, but overall that's kind of my opinion. This is kind of, so yeah, on to the next question. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say this, but my favorite special has to be History of Trunks because obviously I'm a huge fan of Future Gohan, and it was like really sad to see what happened, and it was cool to see like what happened in the past. I didn't want to take too much time on that question because it takes a while to upload these, and I can't really put my laptop in sleep mode. I don't want it to like overheat and stuff. So favorite race in Dragon Ball. Okay, so this is kind of a weird choice, but I actually really like the Frieza race. I like kind of like the designs of some of them, and I like how their techniques are kind of different too. Like Saiyans, you've seen Saiyans, humans, Namekians, for like so long, but Frieza race, obviously Frost is coming in Dragon Ball Super in the manga. Frieza, cooler, even though it's not canon, cooler. So I like all that stuff, Frieza, and obviously in Xenoverse, I love that game, so. Okay, well, I just realized the question below that is favorite Dragon Ball video game, so, and I was just about to say that was my favorite game. I just did, so. So I'm just gonna go on to this question, and I'm gonna do that. So my favorite Dragon Ball video game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Okay, why do you like Dragon Ball Xenoverse? They actually didn't just repeat the same storyline. I mean, it was kind of similar, but like how there's like quests and stuff, and you actually get to fight the heroes. And I think it was a lot different, and obviously you get the Battle of God saga, and that was really good. That's good stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good DLC. I feel like how like the fight is more freedom, like in the Dragon Ball Budokai and Tenkaichi 3 games, like that only have like Xenoverse in the Budokais and Budokai Tenkaichi games. But I like Xenoverse because of the story mode, the customization is really good in that one. And yeah, it's hard to beat online, it's pretty good. Usually there's not much like. Very good variety of characters and attacks. So yeah, it's, that's kind of like in a summary, and like I feel like the fighting was a lot more free because like in the older ones, like you kind of just like you were kind of like easy directed to your opponent, and like I kind of like the view of it a lot better because it gives you it's a lot better. You got a lot more options. Well, actually, on some of the other Dragon Ball Z games, you get options. So that's that question. So let's go to question 11. Ooh, this is gonna go. If you were in the Dragon Ball world, who would you train with? Okay, I would actually train with Future Gohan because I wouldn't train with Piccolo or Vegeta because they would push you way too hard where you couldn't like train anymore. And I think Goku would be a pretty good one too because he would still push you, but he wouldn't push you too hard. I think like Gohan, like Future Gohan, like he'll push you until like you're exhausted. Like he won't just like keep forcing you to train. And like I kind of like what I saw from the history of Trunks, and that's what what I'm going by. And like Gohan's like one day you gotta turn Super Saiyan. So I think that I would train a Future Gohan, and I think with regular Gohan, I think he'd be pretty good too. But like I think Future Gohan you'll actually get somewhere with like just Gohan. Like he won't actually train you that seriously like when you was trying to teach Videl and like Goten how to fly, but that'd be different if you actually trying to physically train you in fighting. But so overall I'm saying Future Gohan with this one. Okay, saddest Dragon Ball moment. And this is a really good one. I think the saddest Dragon Ball moment was when during okay, how do I say this? During the history of Trunks, during the history of Trunks, and androids killed Gohan, and Trunks went to see what happened. Future Trunks, went to see what happened, and he found out Future Gohan died, and then he got really sad and turned Super Saiyan. That would definitely be it. That was like I was actually crying myself too. Because I was like so sad to see Future Gohan die, and like he was like his mentor. Like there was no one else there with him, like besides like Bulma, but Bulma was like really old and stuff. Like Bulma just like didn't actually teach him that much. Like he was just kind of like she was just kind of there. But it was, all there really was left was Future Trunks. So I'm saying when Future Gohan died. And actually, I didn't cut that one out. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, most shocking moment. Okay, let's do this. So the most shocking moment was definitely when Future Trunks came to Earth and he turned Super Saiyan and he just wiped out Frieza and King Cold, obviously. That was like so unexpected. Like who else was expecting for a random Super Saiyan from the future to come and beat him up? So. And beat Frieza, who was like the last villain who caused so much torture and no one could even be close. And then Goku was like crazy powerful and he can barely beat him. So actually, Goku did have a kind of lead at him during the end of the fight. So that's something I can mention there. But still, I think that was like really crazy. Like I'm not really good at expressing like how shocking something was, but still that was pretty crazy. So Future Trunks. Okay, I can't even spell. Okay, Future Trunks destroying. I'm not gonna say villain. I'm gonna say Frieza's. I just want to sound really. I want to make it sound really stupid. The answer, but that was really crazy. So I'm gonna be back with part 3. Okay, I'll be back with part 3 in a couple days. So please take away all the upload. So, yep. Actually, no. This will be like part 4. So bye.